I mean, come on, they add Jalen Waddle? This is a stacked team all of a sudden. Well, the news that we're talking about here is Bo Nix had a little cleanup work done on his ankle, and he's expected to be just fine for, the preseason and all that. Not spring is a little dicey. Does this have you concerned at all? Producers trying to tell me the Broncos are the team to beat in the AFC. I'm like,
well, I think a lot of athletes get cleaned up with surgeries in the offseason. Josh Allen's done it. I mean, I remember a couple years ago, who said, it was Travis Kelce a couple years ago said, I've had 10 surgeries. I heard of one. I think players get cleaned up I think stuff is less invasive. I think it's easier to get surgeries. When I go get my teeth cleaned now, when I go to LA, I get my teeth cleaned. Honestly, it takes like 12 minutes. It's all lasers. It's like Star Wars in there. Everything's better. You get your teeth cleaned, it's easier. Everything gets cleaned up easy.
I love it. Ankle cleanup versus Colin getting a 12-minute
going to
the dentist.
My guy has got bougie equipment.
Obviously. You coastal elites. All right, let me ask you real quick. Who's a team to beat in the AFC? Because I have kind of a surprise answer, but I want to hear yours.
Chargers.
Chargers are the team to beat?
Buffalo, Chargers, Texans.
So here's my answer is, you're going to hate me for it. I don't think there's a
Denver
team to beat in the AFC.
I think that's Buffalo and Denver. If I had to bet today, Buffalo and Denver's my answer.
Buffalo also lost in their game at Denver, and they got a lot of holes, and they got a brand new coach who's never been a head coach before. Like, there's no dominant team. We went from the AFC stacked beyond belief because of the quarterbacks to, I don't know, the only two dominant teams I see are in the NFC. I'm sorry, I'm putting Chicago in there. The more I keep looking at Chicago, I think them and the Rams are dominant.
Yeah. J-Mac.
Okay. So, let us discuss this. Denver Broncos fans. I really have to say, I have mentioned this before, but it genuinely brings such a smile to my face because never in a million years would I have ever imagined that I would be one of those people on the front line declaring, the Denver Broncos are great. The Denver Broncos are great. And I never realized that there was also pushback against the Broncos, because I grew up viewing the Broncos as football royalty. So I was simply not aware that these were the kinds of conversations happening, that Bo Nix would become a controversial figure. Honestly, it just makes me smile. It makes me laugh. Before I go any further, Broncos fans, please, please, please. You all show up all the time, but please do not forget to subscribe and watch the full length of the video. When you do that, views go through the roof. Subscribers go through the roof. And it is not about chasing views. It is not about chasing subscribers. It is about creating the best possible Denver Broncos content that I can, so we can have real, honest, genuine, grounded, unbiased discussions about this team. Right now, my goal is to try to reach 100,000 subscribers before the start of the season. You guys will see it. When the views are higher and the comments are more abundant, each video, at least for me, feels like a genuine party. There is so much back and forth, so many conversations. It is just so awesome to be part of it. I am trying to elevate the floor more than an you thing, right? I would absolutely love for every video to get like 45,000 or 50,000 views and hundreds of subscribers. That would be absolutely incredible. But really, what I am trying to accomplish more than anything is to raise the floor of the channel. To make sure that there are not a lot of videos that only get 1,000 views or a few hundred views. To ensure that no matter what we talk about, no matter what the story is, there is a conversation to be had and that people want to engage with it. So that is what I am really trying to accomplish. Hopefully we get there. But listen, I want to talk about cleanup surgery and discuss Bo Nix, the Broncos, and who they are. I literally just made a video yesterday talking about how stacked they are and how awesome they are, and that if the play calling and Bo Nix take a step forward, this team will absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, be elite. I do not know if they are the team to beat. That is not how my mind operates, especially in April. That is just not my style. So I am not going to plant that flag. Right now, I feel no need to do that at all. I definitely prefer to watch the teams play and get a feel for how the season unfolds. But I have to say this because J-Mac is saying something like, oh, there are no dominant teams. Where are all the dominant teams? And I have said so much about some of these so-called dominant teams over the years. Even the Chiefs, or even the Ravens. whatever team you want to use. A lot of it is simply taking advantage of other teams that are a complete mess, or they do not have the quarterback, or they are poorly run, or they lack the coach. And when J-Max says, who are the teams to beat? Who is stacked? There is no one. I look at that and say, well, if that is the conclusion you reached, then it comes down to which franchises are better run. And enter the Denver Broncos. That is where a team like the Broncos shines, even beyond having a player like Bo Nix, Jalen Waddle, or whatever names you want to use as reference points for why they should be great. So at this point, it really will come down to, because they have the bodies, they have the roster, it is genuinely going to come down to how well run they are during these off-seasons, during the season. How prepared are they? How well do they execute? Do they understand what they need to do? 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. How prepared? How well run? What choices are you making? Are you making that smart trade for a Jalen Waddle? It ends up being all those things, not simply how great is Bo Nix, or is Bo Nix a top 5 quarterback? Those conversations get you lost. You get confused. You are missing the forest for the trees. Putting the cart before the horse. You really are. It is these types of moves. It is these types of little things. It makes me think of when the Chargers, I forget which player it was, but when they were playing the Chiefs in the first game of Week 1, why could have lost the game because the running back went out of bounds rather than staying in bounds. That could have had absolutely, positively devastating consequences for the Chargers. That could have been the difference between them making the playoffs and not making the playoffs. That is what it comes down to. So it is about how well prepared you are. Again, what moves are you making in the offseason? Are you making smart moves? Are you having a smart draft? Are you making the right trades? How prepared are you? It is not just always Jalen Waddle is a top 3 receiver or Bo Nix is top 5. It is how well run are you right now? And I would argue that the Denver Broncos are incredibly well run. As for the cleanup surgery, I will not linger on this too much, but I have had a million surgeries. Had all of this. Listen. On one side, you never really want to downplay surgeries. Colin says something like, oh, a lot of this stuff is less invasive and whatnot. The reality is that surgery is still surgery. And cleanup surgery has become a catch-all for so many different things. Sometimes cleanup surgery is literally just, oh, we are just going to shave down some cartilage. Especially back in the day, true cleanup surgery was really just that. My knee, I have had meniscus surgery a whole bunch of times. If I have some clicking or some issues in there, you could technically go in for cleanup surgery. They can shave down some cartilage. Or there could be some cartilage floating around that they go in and remove. Maybe try to get rid of some scar tissue, even though scar tissue then builds back up again. It could be very minor things. Or it could be something like, you know what? A screw, depending on what type of surgery you had, came loose, or it broke. Your plate broke. Now we have to remove the plate. We want to just remove the plate altogether because we think you are healed enough. Or we want to reinforce this and put in another plate. It could mean so many different things. I am not going to try to guess exactly what Bo Nix had, because in many ways it is a little bit irrelevant. But I will say this. And I do not know if this was the ankle that he already had surgery on, the one he just had surgery on. Because I do not know if it is the same ankle or a different ankle. But if it is the same ankle that he just had surgery on, which was in January, it is absolutely, undeniably, no doubt about it, not typical to have cleanup surgery a few months later. That is just not how it is done. That is not the normal status quo. You are not looking to put him under anesthesia and go back in there. I do not care how minimally invasive, no matter how microscopic. They talk about meniscus surgery. Oh, it is not invasive. When you come out of there, you literally have 3 little dots. It is nothing. You cut yourself more with a fork. Yet there is so much going on inside your knee. There is so much pain. So the whole idea of it is less invasive does not matter. Technically, getting a needle is less invasive. You can get an injection and it is not invasive. But they put it in the middle of your knee, and you are squeezing everything you can, and they give you something to bite down on. So those of us who are not getting surgeries and not getting injuries, downplaying it, will never not make me laugh, because I have been there. Colin says, Travis Kelce has had like 10 surgeries. I have had 5 or 6 surgeries. I have been getting things done from the jump, and I am not an NFL player. So with Kelce, I am glad he brought him up because I have shared this a million times now, I have to keep reminding myself. He says, oh, Kelce has had 10 surgeries. That quote says that he never goes a day that he has not felt every single one of those surgeries. So it is something to keep in mind. I am not sounding the alarm. I am not saying, oh, this is a problem. Bo Nix, this and that. Anytime someone is going to downplay surgeries, I feel obligated to say, no, no, no. Guys, we do not have all the information. It would be nice to have more information. I am not necessarily worried about it right now. I am not saying Bo Nix will not be ready, or that he is injury prone. I have debunked all of that in the past, so that is not what I am doing now. But I feel like that meme where a person is about to explode through the screen when we downplay surgical procedures or injuries. I just cannot. It just does not make sense to me. I cannot allow it. This is the quote from Travis Kelce. That is the only thing I have never really been open about, he says. The discomfort, the pain, the lingering issues, the 10 surgeries I have had that I still feel every single surgery to this day. I got chills reading this because it matches my experience. So again, even when Colin uses that as a reference, yeah, and Kelce is literally saying that he feels every single surgery to this day. But yeah. I mean, I have had cleanup surgery. I have had these things. Sometimes it is a cyst you remove. It could be so many different things. So if anyone has more information on that, I will take a look at it too. But again, I am not going to lose any sleep over it because it is essentially May. If this were September or something, or right before the season, my ears would perk up more, and I would feel the need to investigate it further. But as of right now, I am kind of just like, we will just see how this all unfolds. So personally, I am not too worried about it. But I am also not going to erase it. This is what happened with the J.J. McCarthy whole thing when I said, oh, he had meniscus surgery, then they had to go in and do another procedure. And I said, that is not really normal either. Vikings fans were furious. They were so angry. Livid, and it is just that meniscus surgeries are 99.999% of the time completely straightforward. The fact that they then needed to go back in for whatever procedure was a little weird. When you are talking about potentially putting in a plate, because again, I do not know exactly what happened with his ankle, what type. He could have gotten a big nail in there. I forget the name, an intramedullary nail or something. It could be a plate, multiple screws. I really do not know. So some of the surgery could be to just remove hardware, and that could be considered cleanup surgery. There is just so much I do not know. But we will see. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you all think about the Denver Broncos, Bo Nix, whether they will be great or not great, his ankle, whatever you want to talk about? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let us get into some discussions. Let us get into some fights, but ultimately, let us just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we are really excited to be part of. I think we are well on our way to doing it. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, because it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.